Welcome to the fourth episode of Byte-Sized JavaScript. In this episode, we'll implement a CI/CD pipeline. CI/CD is an acronym for Continuous Integration and Continuous Development, which is a fancy way of saying whenever we publish our code to a branch, for instance, we automatically run a set of tasks and then we do a deployment only and only when all of those tasks finish successfully. So if one of the tasks in our pipeline fails, we bail out and don't do the deployment. This concept of chaining tasks back to back is also called forming a pipeline. Therefore, in this episode, we'll start creating a CI/CD pipeline by definition. So when it comes to designing a CI/CD pipeline, there are many tools to pick from. Jenkins, to begin with, is the oldest and arguably the most well-known one among them. It's open source and it has been battle tested to death and it's ready for any kind of production use. Especially if you are familiar with Apache Ant, then Gradle will feel just like home. Gradle is also open source and it's really easy to install and use. Another solution that you can look at is Travis. Travis is a what they call as a service CI/CD solution. Currently it contains over 300,000 projects on it, which proves that it is the platform of choice for many people. And if you like JetBrains products like, RubyMine, WebStorm, IntelliJ, then TeamCity can be another CI/CD solution that you might want to give a go. And if you are an Atlassian user, then you might prefer Bamboo maybe. There are also other options like CodeShip, or Cruise Control, or Greenhouse. And this is not even a conclusive list. As I said, you have many options to pick from. In this episode, however, we'll choose a CI/CD solution that's new, modern, and arguably different, which is Buddy. Buddy has many features that makes it stand out from the rest of the crowd. For example, built-in support for integration with services like Docker, Heroku, and Amazon S3. And it really has a intuitive and hassle-free user interface and user experience that enables you to create and visualize workflows and pipelines with ease. And it also has an API which helps you to programmatically interact with Buddy. So let's try Buddy and see how it feels like. So when I log into BuddyWorks, this is the screen that I initially see. You can see that I have already defined a bunch of projects. Here I will create another pipeline to show you how streamlined the process is. First I'll tap on this big plus icon to create a new project. Then I'll choose GitHub as my provider. Then I'll pick the automation demo project which I have created a while ago. And there is nothing special in this project actually. The initial project consists of a single package.json and that package.json has nothing fancy in it as you see. So let's create our pipeline, shall we? We'll configure our pipeline so that whenever there is a merge to our master branch, we'll first publish the code to npm by automating an npm publish action, and then we'll send a message to the Byte-Sized JavaScript Slack channel. Yes, we have a Slack channel, if I forgot to mention. Anyways, before we begin setting up our integration, we should make sure that we are logged into Slack as an administrator account. Otherwise, the Slack integration might not work. And since we have logged into Slack as an admin account, let's go back to our pipeline and tap this edit link. As we see here, on every run, we'll be running a Node.js script in a Docker container. And that script is nothing but a simple npm publish action. And our container will be running on a relatively recent version of Node.js. So we have configured Buddy to watch GitHub for us. And on every merge to the master branch, Buddy will also try to publish to npm. Which kind of makes sense because the master branch of your project is a branch that should be production ready always. Every change on the master like a merge or a push is technically a new version and thus it needs publishing. And that's why we are trying to automate a publish action whenever we merge to master. And we can easily add other actions to this pipeline by tapping this link. Some of those actions are like, for example, running Ruby commands or doing an FTP upload or directly using a Docker image from Docker Hub or uploading files to an Amazon S3 bucket or making a request to an HTTP endpoint or sending an SMS or a Slack message or an email. And since at its core Buddy gives you Docker containers to run commands on, your options are as limitless as your imagination. You can do almost anything using Buddy. That's a good point to stop. To wrap up, in this episode we have learned about CI/CD pipelines in general, and then we made a brief introduction to body. In the next episode, we'll dive into body a little deeper. We will run this pipeline that we just created and then tweak it further to meet our requirements. So until then, may the source be with you.